Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. It's 6:08. It's 38 degrees here in beautiful Toms River, New Jersey at the Jersey Shore. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 if you want to join the conversation. Right now, that conversation turns to Nonprofit Monday. And we turn to Venus Majeski, the New Jersey Institute of Disabilities, Director of Development and Community Relations. Good morning, Venus.
Good morning, Jeremy.
How
morning.
How are you? Are you sufficiently caffeinated this morning?
You know, I am, and I'm looking at this beautiful full moon. It's very dark outside.
Yeah, it's darker. It was darker 2 hours ago, Venus. I'm just letting you know. I also noted the full moon when I woke up and said, why am I noting a full moon when I wake up? I don't like that.
It's beautiful. But thank you so much for this invitation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Venus, tell us about NJID. What do you guys do? What is it all about? Give us kind of the broad stroke overview.
Absolutely. It's the New Jersey Institute for Disabilities, and we provide a wide range of services for infants, children, and adults with disabilities, really throughout the state. And while our home office is incorporated in Edison, New Jersey, we do have services in Ocean County and Monmouth County. Particularly in Ocean, we operate 2 adult training centers and 3 group homes and a few apartments there as well, serving adults with special needs. Wow.
Okay. And so, Venus, how did you get involved in this organization? Where did you kind of what does your career path kind of look like that took you to NJID ultimately?
It was a little bit of a jigsaw on that path. My first career actually was in local government. And I was there for 16 years. I was familiar with the agency. At that time, it was called the Cerebral Palsy Association of Middlesex County. And it was 1990, 25 years ago.
Wow.
A long time. When Dominic Ursino, he was the president of the Cerebral Palsy Association, and he continues to be our president now. He needed to have some deep community contacts. They were in the process of launching a large $7 million capital campaign to build the new Lakeview School. And there were circumstances. It was time for me to change my career. I had had enough with local government. Nick knew it, and he asked me to join the team. And I have to say that for me, it was not a situation where I just joined and never looked back, because I did. You know, Jeremy, I was there for about 2 weeks, and I remember it was a beautiful Halloween day, and all the children came out to do some trick-or-treating in the parking lot, and I was just overwhelmed by the disability, and I failed to see the children. What I saw was equipment, and I saw disability, and I saw some anxiety and pain, and I thought, this is not for me. And I actually left that day, and I was prepared to tender my resignation. And the next day, what happened was I was getting ready, waiting to meet with Nick Ursino to tell him that this just was not a good fit for me. And there was a young man, he was 3 years old, a student in our preschool, and he used a ventilator. And his nurse called me over and said, come here, he wants to say something. And I looked into the eyes of this beautiful child, and he looked up at me and he whispered, hello, Venus. And I said, I don't understand. And she said, he knows you're new here, and he wants to make you feel welcome. And in that moment, honestly, everything changed. And I saw a beautiful child, and I saw a big heart, and I saw a deeper understanding than what I had at that time. And I said, this is where I need to be. And quickly after that, Nick Ursino took me to view the other facilities that they had operated at the time. And I was just taken by how well run everything looked, how beautiful, how clean, how well maintained. And I said that to him. I said, you know what, Nick, I really didn't expect it to be this way. And he looked at me and he says, well, what did you expect? Did you expect us to be meeting in a basement somewhere? He said, they're people with disabilities, but they're people first. And everything that you would expect for your own child or your own family, that's what we try to provide. And I learned then about that philosophy. And it's been a great ride ever since, 25 years. It's really been my life's work.
Wow, that is, I'll tell you what, you bring up a fantastic point, because I think it is very difficult it's very easy, I should say, to be disturbed, to be uncomfortable, to kind of, I think, kind of turn away from the kind of disabilities that you guys deal with every day. And I think it's such an interesting way to look at it, and such a powerful way to look at it, to say, stop seeing the disability and start seeing the child, or start seeing the person, because but that's not an easy skill, right? I mean, you had that somewhere in there. I'm sure that's not easy for most of society, is it?
You know, I think that it's part of familiarity. And to me, in my mind, I honestly liken this to race relations or ethnic diversity. It's someone who is different than you in a particular way, but at the heart of it, we're all bleeding red blood. And we're all, you know, in my mind, I believe we're all created equal. And that certainly goes for persons with disabilities. And I think it's that familiarity. Now, when I will visit a typical school in a neighborhood, I'm jarred by the activity and by the screaming and the running and the kids, because that's not my comfort level. That's not where I'm at.
Right.
I'm familiar with a school for children with disabilities. I'm in there every day, and I recognize that and feel very much at home there now. These are the people that we serve. And I have to tell you, too, that getting to know many of the parents of these children was really an eye-opening experience, a learning experience for me, because I learned more about the greatness of the human spirit from the parents of the children and the parents of the adults who have lived this their whole life. They had great lessons to teach me, and this was just probably the best thing that could happen to me. After my marriage, it was this.
Great. Mm-hmm. So, Venus, we're coming up against the break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about really what your mission is, because I think that it's with a lot of illnesses, with a lot of nonprofits, with a lot of causes, it's about finding a cure, fixing a situation, kind of turning something on its ear. And I think with disabilities, it's a little bit different. And I think that we need to make sure people understand that. But before we go to break, what kind of dog is that, Venus? I'm all about dogs.
That's my Westie.
Okay.
I think she's very excited, but she'll be in the other room after the break.
Oh, okay. Listen, I just want to make sure that my listening audience understands that we accept all pets, and we're all about that here on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We'll be right back with Venus right after the break.
Get more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin at our website, WOBMAM.com. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin continues. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. It is 6:21. It's 38 degrees, getting up to 48 degrees here at WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pop app and at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 if you want to join the conversation. We have Venus Majeski, Director of Development and Community Relations for the New Jersey Institute of Disabilities. She is on the line with us along with her Westie.
Katie.
Katie? Is Katie your Westie's name?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Again, Venus, I don't know if you're aware, but I get a lot of flack because people say I'm not a pet lover, and I want everyone to know. I mean, can you tell everyone I invited Katie to join us this morning, right?
I know, and it was a very gracious invitation. She was thrilled. She's been practicing all night.
Oh, good.
And the fact that there are geese now walking around in my backyard just adds to the excitement of it all.
Venus, where you live on a farm somewhere? I mean, are you somewhere that I don't know about here in Ocean County?
No, I'm not on a farm.
Okay.
That's for sure.
All right, I'm just make sure you milk the cows before you leave. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I'll make sure I take care of that.
Yeah. And don't tip them. Hey, no. So I want to ask you before we get back to NJID. So local government. That's that piqued my interest. What did you do before NJID in local government?
Actually, it was in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Middlesex County.
Now I know why you left.
Yep. No, it's a great city.
I know.
And in fact, we still operate. That was actually where the agency was founded. I mean, it's a strange coincidence, but that's where the agency was incorporated back in 1949.
Wow.
Our first home was an abandoned garage on a side street in Perth Amboy, and that's where we established a school for children with disabilities. It was 2 families who did that. And, it really is an amazing, when you think about it, it's what an amazing story. Here you have this very humble place. I think there were 6 or 7 children who attended. And today, 2016, we serve over 1,500 people in 37 locations throughout the state. So it's really become one of the great success stories, really, of New Jersey, of how our agency prospered and grew, because the need was there and the vision of the management was there, and everything came together to really create a very strong agency.
All right, so now I can tell that you were in local government because you totally ducked my question, Venus. What'd you do with local government before? I'm not letting it go. I'm stuck on this one.
No problem. I actually started as an administrative assistant, and I became the director of, at that time we called it personnel. It wasn't human relations, it was personnel. And then when I left, I had been the city business administrator for 3 years. And I think I was the youngest person who was ever the business administrator, and certainly broke a lot of barriers as a woman. The mayor that I served with, and I served his entire term from 76 to 90, was very forward-thinking and never really gave that much thought whether you were a woman or a man, or you were your color or your race. If you could do a job, you were given the opportunity, and it taught me a lot, and it certainly prepared me for my future in terms of creating new schemes. And when I say schemes, I say it in all of the best terms, ways to raise money, fundraising and development, and how to connect with people. That was really my strong point, and I think I can bring that to NJID, and that's why my career here, I was able to retain a lot of my old contacts, friends in government. I know how the process works. I understand it. The mayor was also a state assemblyman, so I had contacts on a state level, and that served me well and served the agency well.
Right.
For these 25 years.
And I know you're still very active personally because you're a member of the Governor's Conference for Women's Steering Committee, right? And you also are have been a panelist at the conference's workshop concerning women and disability. So you've obviously been a a strong representative for the gender. Yes.
Yeah, for the gender, but most particularly for persons with disabilities.
Gotcha.
That's really my life's passion, Jeremy. There is, if there are ways that we can make things better,
right.
We do.
Absolutely.
We do.
So
it's not an agency of dreamers; it's an agency of doers.
I understand. So when we get back, we are going to talk more about, again, exactly what kind of the mission is, what the goals are, because again. It's not really a curing issue per se. There's much more to it. Venus Majeski, NJID, Director of Development and Community Relations, talking to us about disabilities. We will be back after the break. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Stay with us.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. It is 6:32, 38 degrees, getting up to 48 here at WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. Joined by Venus Majeski and her dog, Katie. Venus is the Director of Development and Community Relations at NJID, although Katie now is chasing geese in the backyard somewhere. So, Venus.
Jeremy, before we get started, did I hear that Toms River North won this weekend on the break? I think they were saying that Toms River North basketball won.
Oh,
they were advancing.
It could be, yeah. You're a Toms River North fan?
Well, the reason I'm asking is our president, Dominic Ursino, his grandson plays on the team. He's a senior this year, AJ Storino, and I know that there will be great celebration in the office. So looks like it's shaping up to be a great day for me.
So you're setting up to have a good day. You're going to wear all your Mariner gear.
I will. I'll be out there. Oh my goodness! We certainly will celebrate.
Oh, good. So our crack staff is double checking the high school North score right now. That's Zach, by the way. He's checking it. He'll get back to you in a moment. But Venus, while he's doing that, talk to us really about the mission, because again, for a lot of nonprofits, it's about curing something, it's about fixing something, it's about changing the world in some way. I think NJID is trying to change the world, but in a little different way. So can you kind of talk to us about that?
Yeah, it's really about changing lives one at a time. And when I say that, I mean that in every sense of the word. We serve infants from birth who are born, low birth weight, at risk, with disabilities, showing delays. We serve children, school age, who have multiple disabilities, children with fragile medical conditions. Those are the students that we serve at the Lakeview School. And, of course, our adult services, which is our fastest-growing division. Children with disabilities grow up to be adults with disabilities. And, everything that's important to you and to me, where will I live, what will I do with my life, what's my philosophy, who's my friends, what's my faith, is just as important to a person with disabilities. The difference is that they need different supports to make those dreams come true. They need different supports to achieve their highest level of independence. And that varies from person to person. And that's how NJID just gets in there, understanding what does this individual need. There's no one program for everyone. People, their needs are met individually. Programs are crafted to help them, and then we just go for it, and we help them achieve what they want to achieve. It's very person-centered planning when our programs, the person comes first, and then we kick in whatever it is that person needs. So we have in Ocean County, in fact, in July, we just opened up a great new facility at 951 Old Freehold Road. It's in that big intersection where there's a new shop right there.
Right.
You're familiar with that?
Oh, yeah, right across from Social 37, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right,
oh, yeah.
Right. There was a place there that formerly it was built not too long ago. I think it was some kind of pet care and pet boarding place. They went out of business or moved their business rather, and NJID purchased the building. There was a good price. They had some hard negotiations, and we transformed it. It really is a gem in Ocean County for people with disabilities. It's all adults in there. And we also have a second site down in Barnegat as well. And as I said, our group homes. But these are the places where people go. It's not about fixing and making things perfect, because no one's life is perfect. Everyone, when we think about it, is really working to achieve something in their lives, or we should be. We should all be committed, right? And that's what we're doing here. And it's different ways. I would venture to say that none of our clients will be an astronaut or will be the president, but you know what? They will live full, productive lives, and that's what's important. With friendship, with community integration, there's a lot of volunteerism that goes on at our adult sites. Our clients are in the community, and they're working side by side. And, Jeremy, getting back to our earlier conversation, it's that familiarity where a disability doesn't look so strange anymore. That's what makes the difference. That's what makes the change happen.
Right.
And I feel that, our job is not done until people with disabilities excel, and no one is surprised that they are excelling.
Right.
That people aren't surprised, wow, what a great job he did. And did you know he had a disability? You drop that phrase, and it's just, what a great job he did. That's where we need to come.
Absolutely. So Venus, I'm going to ask you, so we have our wake up with Jeremy Grunin special question, right? Okay. So it's our go-to, like, wrap up, like the big finish, right? So that question typically is, if you had a magic wand, if you had the pixie dust, fairy dust, could just wiggle your nose and make something happen or make something change just by Venus making it so, what would that be? What would you do? But before you answer that, I want to put you in a little better mood.
Yes.
I'm going to help you out here.
Please.
Because Toms River North beat Long Branch 58-52. And listen, look, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you get some extra points at work today. Because Anthony Storino scored 2 points. He was 2 for 2 from the foul line. Okay, so there you go. So he had a couple of free throws, right? He contributed to the cause. Now you can go in like you watched the game, like you were like streaming it live as it was happening.
They'll be all impressed.
That's
right?
what I'm telling you, Venus. I'm here for you, right? This is not a one-way show. This is not about you giving us something about NGID. It's about us giving back, and there you go. So now, without further ado, you got your magic wand. What are you doing?
Okay, I have my magic wand. Now I have tears in my eyes. But honestly, certainly you would want to see a world where children were born healthy, where we wouldn't see disability, where that wouldn't exist. But absent that and that utopia, I suppose I want a world where we would replace pity with compassion, and where we would recognize that we are all people first, that there would be true inclusion and not exclusion. That's what I would hope to see. I would hope to see that people, all people, children, adults with disabilities, would receive the services that they need without counting the cost. I would love that to be true.
That's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
That's selfish.
And I would. And no. And I would hope that people would recognize and be more understanding, replace disdain with acceptance. To be more understanding in, when you see a child with a disability and you see that mom, not to pity, but to understand.
Right.
This person has struggles that are different than yours.
Absolutely.
And what can we do to make that better? That's what I would wish for.
Well, that is quite the wish. And listen, clearly, Venus, I think we have all been we've been very blessed that that young child 25 years ago called you out by name and looked into your eyes, because you've been a huge, incredible advocate to help out folks with disabilities, not only in Ocean County but throughout the state. And we are definitely happy that you're fighting for that cause, doing a great job. So, can you tell people where they could go to learn more, where they could find out more information on NJID, et cetera?
Sure, and I would hope that people would contact us, because we are planning. We're in the early stages of planning a 5K down in Ocean County, so I could use some great 5K volunteers, whether they would man a table or run the course. Yes, they can go to www.njid.org, and you can find my name there in the contact list, Venus Majeski, or you can call our main office, which is 732-549-6187. Just ask for Venus, and you'll get put through right to me.
I was going to say, I didn't know how many Venuses work for NJID, but...
No, I'm the single one.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, I know there's one on the women's tennis tour.
People say that, and I think I'm such an old lady. I had this name in 1955.
Oh, my goodness. 55. I can't even do the math right now. Venus Majeski, Director of Development and Community Relations. Please pass on our thanks to Katie for joining us this morning as well. Venus, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks so much, Jeremy.
All right, have
it's
a
really
great,
been a pleasure.
Have a great day. Back after this, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin.
Stay tuned for Preferred Company with Joel Markell and Marianne Levy at 8. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin.